Hi viewers. From the last couple of months that I have been given a lot of feedback or where people are curious to know about the certain terminology in astrology and how they can benefit from it. And yes, it was in my mind that rather giving you all answers on one-to-one basis, I have here with me Professor Sesh Rao.
Hello.
And she is very well versed and probably one of the best that we have where human resources are concerned. She's a professor of the soft skills, and her family from generations has been complete, strong, staunch believers of astrology. Sesh Rao, thank you so much for coming and helping me and my clients know the answers.
You're welcome, and it's a pleasure to be with you.
Yes.
The first question I have for you, Dolly, is what is your style of working, the Vedic or something else?
Well, I would say that every country had its own sect of astrology. We from the Asian culture call it the Vedic astrology. And now this is all centuries old, right?
Yeah.
And in the Western world, we take it as the Western astrology. More or less, it is similar. Only the placement of the stars are also similar, except for one or two stars like the sun and the moon planet.
Okay.
They are a little differently placed, but astrology is the same the world over.
I see.
It is the interpretations that matter.
Right. Okay. So, I think all our viewers can be at rest. It doesn't matter which style, because basically the interpretation is what matters.
That is one, and here I would like to say, Sesh, like personally, I don't really only go by Vedic, I don't only go by Western, because more or less the Western and Vedic is very similar.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Can you predict, is it the same way of doing it, or are there differences for men and women?
Definitely there are differences, like when I'm telling people, that's why we always ask in astrology male or female.
Okay.
Right, because the male hormones work in a very different manner, they react in a different manner. The female hormones react in a different manner. So the interpretation is in accordance with, whether it's a male or a female. What is applicable to a male may necessarily not be applicable to a female. Here I would also like to interject and tell everyone that even in the zodiacs, like for an Aryan male, he behaves differently. An Aryan female behaves differently. It's all about perceptions of a male and a female hormones.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, you see. But then what about the EQ and the IQ?
We say that there is a little bit of a woman in a man and a little bit of a man in a woman.
Yeah.
Right, so the EQ and the IQ also works in the same manner.
Okay.
Like we tell men to be more human, to be more compassionate, to be more, to be less indifferent.
Right.
For a woman, we say develop your awareness, develop your aggressiveness.
Right.
Try to be a fighter. So it's basically the EQ and IQ has to be balanced in accordance with the male and the female hormones.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. When we go through the early morning, when we get up and we look at the predictions for the day, the word cusp comes to our mind.
True.
Because you see, we don't know exactly where we belong.
True.
If someone is on the borderline, let's say Leo and Virgo,
yeah,
that is 23rd, 24th, if I'm not wrong, or
yeah,
22nd probably. Now, where do we belong?
It's very simple, Sesh. The cusp signs belong between 20th and 27th.
Okay.
Okay. 20th, 21st is where the sun crosses from one zodiac to the other.
Okay.
27th, it is fully embedded in that particular house by which it has come into.
Okay.
So, people born between 20th and 27th, I'll explain. They're known as cusps, that's number one. Second is they have a little qualities of the sign that has gone by and a little qualities of the sign that is coming in. Now 20, 21st, 23rd will bear more of the signs of the sign that has been left behind. 24th, 25th, 26th will have more of the signs that is coming in. But basically it is a combination of both the signs. So people who are born in the cusp sign, I think need to read both the signs.
Okay.
And then come to their own conclusions, what is hitting them or what is fitting into them.
So all my, saying I am a Leo and all that is gone. I'm a cusp.
You're a cusp. So, you're a cusp. Yes. Your date of birth is
20th August.
You're a cusp of a Leo and a Virgo.
Okay.
Now, if you look at yourself, a Leo is very commanding.
Mm-hmm.
A Leo is also very demanding.
Mm-hmm.
And a Leo likes to lead.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a Virgo is a person who's a complete perfectionist.
Yeah.
Now, the difference between you and
my husband.
There you go. So here you are more of a Leo, so you would be reading the predictions of a Leo,
Okay.
but in not following the Virgo in totality. So more of Leo will be applicable to you and less of Virgo. But as you progress further, the 21st, 22nd, 23rd and so on, then you become more towards, the bent is towards the Virgo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So all the cusps should read both the signs.
Yeah.
See where they are placed between 20th and 27th,
Yeah.
and then work accordingly and take their what is good for them.
Yeah. Can you go a little more into directions?
I am telling my people that these are your lucky dates where your energy levels are the highest. Lucky dates are also directly sheesh in relation with the planets,
Okay.
which is every individual has his or her own master planet.
Okay.
So that's how we come to the conclusions of which is the luckiest date for you or which is the luckiest period for you, because that time your energy levels are very high. Similarly, there is something in the Asian culture or the Vedic way we call Vastu,
Yeah.
and internationally, or I would say the Japanese or the cult of the Westerners is Feng Shui.
Yeah.
The brain is divided into two parts.
Okay.
Some people think from the eastern side, some people think from the western side.
Mhm.
So when we are doing the calculations, we realize that where are the energy levels placed of every individual, and accordingly we suggest the best directions to them.
Okay.
So when you sit in your best directions, the productivity is more.
I see. Okay. I was reading somewhere that in the month of September we're going to have two solar eclipses.
Yes.
One is one lunar and one solar.
True.
Right. Now that reminds me that nature is benign, but it's also unkind to us. And there are all sorts of natural disturbances which take place.
Yes.
To what extent do these affect us?
Oh, a lot.
Really?
See, astrologically, we don't say that the nature is unkind to us.
Okay.
I would say this is the nature's way of relieving us of what is the waste.
Okay.
Now, when solar and lunar eclipses take place, they basically tend to shake your surroundings.
Okay.
They tend to shake your thought processes.
Okay.
See, lunar moon energies are always affecting your brains.
Mm-hmm.
Solar energies affect you physically.
Okay.
Now, the strong live through it,
Mm.
the weak crumble.
Okay.
So similarly, in nature's scheme of things, the strong buildings withstand it, the weak buildings crumble.
Okay, that reminds me, I have an associated question with that. People who have mental disorders,
Yeah.
they say it's related to the new moon and the full moon,
Yes.
the intensity.
Yes.
Is that true?
Oh, very much, Shesh.
Mhm.
Logically and scientifically, a body is 70% water or 60% water,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
And if you see the moon,
Mm.
if we all know,
Mhm.
educated or not educated,
Right.
that when the new moon or the no moon is there, the tides,
Mhm.
the ocean tides, they rise and they fall.
Right.
Similarly, the energies, the liquid energies in our body rise and they fall.
Okay.
So we have our mood swings, we have our bad moments and good
Yeah,
moments.
right, right.
So and when the lunar eclipse is taking place, that is where our mental energies are much more
Okay.
in play.
Right. Okay. That's very interesting. Because I have heard of some children with mental disorders.
Yes, yes.
They become very active and
Why
reactive.
talk about mental disorders? You take it yourself individually. Some days our moods are very, very high.
Right.
Some days we are completely depressed,
Amazing.
not knowing what is it that is hitting us.
Right,
So
right.
these are all,
Okay, so these swings are there all the
Yeah.
time. Okay. Now, coming to, I think this should be really my last question to you. That is, I think I've got something more on my mind. Suddenly it just struck me before I come to the last one. And that is, of late, the Western world and the Oriental world is talking about karma,
Yes.
fate, destiny,
Yes.
which was alien, these words, to the West at one time.
True.
Whereas today everyone is using them very loosely, without
Absolutely.
knowing too much about it.
Yeah.
So to a layman, how would you interpret karma, fate, living prophecies, orders?
Karmas are actions,
Okay?
right? That whatever we act, we are going to get that reaction.
Okay.
Okay, so action
Newton's
and
law.
reaction.
Newton's law.
Newton's law.
Okay.
Okay. Then I always say that don't talk about the karmas that have gone. Talk about your actions or what you're doing today.
Okay.
It's like Gautam Buddha had said, want to know what your past was? See what you are today. Want to know your future? See what you're doing today.
Okay.
I think that sums up the karmas. And when I say living prophecies, I put it in the other ways by saying create your own prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts lead to your words.
Mhm.
Your words lead to your actions. So this is the karmas, creating your own prophecies, and rather than living predictions. I mean, nobody can dictate lives to you. Even astrology, at the beginning of the questionnaire, you had asked how does astrology affect a person. I would say astrology is a science which makes you aware of your attitudes, your potentials, your actions, your reactions. Based on that, you can deal with your life.
Then why don't scientists believe in astrology by and large? Why are they so agnostic about the whole thing?
The scientists believe in astronomy, the play of stars.
Yeah, true.
Right? Astrology is like one of the social sciences which cannot be explained. There are no tangible proofs about it.
Okay.
But definitely there are tangible proofs about the planets affecting us.
Yes.
Right? And I would just term it up this way, that in medical sciences, a brain can be defined. Can a mind be defined?
Yeah.
There is my answer.
Okay. Well, that's very well put, Dolly. And really now is the last question.
Okay.
Could you tell us something about ascending and retrograde stars and how they affect us, particularly in relation to cusps as well as when you are born in a particular star?
See, I would put it this way, Shesh. The ascending is known as the rising sun, the time that we were born.
Ah, okay.
We come into this world,
Mm-hmm.
and the projection we give to the world is your rising sun.
Okay.
That becomes your first house, irrespective of where it is.
Oh, I see. So that is the ascending star.
That's the ascending star, your first house.
Okay.
Then comes the second house, third house, fourth house, and so on. Then we see where the sun is. The sun may be like your rising star is in Aries, but you're actually born, your zodiac sign would be, let's say, Leo.
Yeah.
So the fourth sign comes as that your sun is in the fourth house.
Okay.
Because the first house is the time that you were born.
So it's not the ascending star.
That
for
is
Leos.
the,
For
that
Leos.
is, that's, no. It will be the person who's born in a Leo zodiac sign is actually giving a projection of the Aries because he came into the world when his point, that ascending, was in Aries.
Okay.
That's the ascendant, the rising sign. Okay. Then comes your sun sign. Then comes your moon sign. So, and they're all placed in different houses, in different zodiacs. So that's why I tell every individual that there is a little bit of each zodiac or wherever the stars are placed in you. Sometimes the stars, or I would say the planets, are clustered in only one house. So you are more into having the habits or your attributes or attitudes are more tuned with that house.
Oh, actually, my
Because-
grandmother, that reminds me, Dolly,
Yeah.
my nani, there were 6 stars,
Planets.
six planets in one house.
So that means she was completely that house. Because every planet, wherever it's placed, takes the flavor of that house. Like the sun in Aries will behave differently. The Mercury in Aries will behave differently. The sun in Taurus will behave differently. Mercury in Taurus will behave differently.
So the house itself has no energy. It is these planets which create the energy.
The house has the flavor. The
Okay.
planets have the energy.
Okay.
It's something like when we are cooking food. If you eat salt by itself, has a different flavor. When you add the salt in a particular dish,
True.
that dish takes on a different flavor.
Okay, that's very well put.
So that's how the planets, they are a taste by themselves, a vegetable by themselves. When they are put in this house, the other ingredients are added, the flavor comes. That is why probably the dish that I would make, or the dish that you would make, or the third person would make the same dish, but the flavors will differ.
Definitely, yeah.
Similarly, when these planets are in different houses, they take on the flavor of that houses, and that is how when you're interpreting, or when you're implying or telling the clients that okay, you were born as a cusp, so this impact it will have on you. You were born in a particular sign, so it will have this impact on you. So that's it, the houses and the signs and the flavors that they take. Now coming to retrogrades.
Yeah.
Now this is scientific, that some planets are moving forward and some planets are moving backward. Now what reactions we have when the planets are moving forward? We take the energies of that planet, so we are full throttle. But now I can put an example that when you're walking forwards with your face ahead, you can walk faster.
Okay.
But now start walking backwards with your face still ahead.
Yeah.
Your reactions and steps will be much slower.
Right.
If they're fast, you'll fall.
Correct. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Similarly, when these planets are going retrograde, I tend to tell people, slow down. This is not the time to take actions.
Okay.
Be careful. Be cautious. Wait for the moment when you can see full ahead. When the planets are full throttle going ahead, that means your vision is clearer, your mind is clearer, mental clarity is there, and you'll be able to take decisions better. You want to ask any more questions, Sesh?
Well, I think you made it so interesting. I'm going to add one more.
Okay.
Since you have the inclination, I have the time. Let's do it. Okay. See, it's like this. I have been going through some of the YouTubes, and different clients have been asking different questions. And if I remember right, there was a gentleman called Gaurav.
Yes.
So, you see, and of course it is applicable to all of us. As I said earlier, explain karma and so on. What is fate and free will? I think this is the question he had. Could you explain a little more in detail about it?
Very well, this thing, like Gaurav definitely asked me, and so do my other clients also say. Now fate is what you are dealt with. It's a pack of cards.
Okay.
Right, so similarly is life. You're dealt with a particular cards. Now how you play with those cards is your free will.
Okay.
That's the difference between fate and free will. Now, I remember saying that this is what the stars are telling you, or this is what the planetary situation demands, that you either take this decision or you shouldn't take this decision. Right, or if the planets are forward, it's important to embark upon projects. Now the planets are retrograde, don't embark upon the projects. Now, I have told you that these are the cards that are dealt out seeing the planetary situations. Free will is your choice. Do you want to go with what precautions I am giving you, or you want to go ahead? So, always I tell my clients that astrology is not about living predictions. Astrology is about choosing, creating your own prophecies. You can take the precautions into your stride, and your free will can decide whether you choose to do that or not choose to do that.
And to what extent do you help people to take that, exercise that free will?
I would say I am like a notebook who has given you a notebook, and I've also given you a pencil.
Okay.
And I've also written on the blackboard that if you adopt this, like the planetary situations are in this zodiac, then your writing goes smoother and you become a very fast learner and you become educated in the process. So from my part, I am cautioning people and I am giving them the guidelines. It's like education. The first step, the second step, the third step. When a child educates himself to the top level and he starts using and utilizing that knowledge, life becomes much smoother for him. It's like taking a car and changing the gears according to the roads, whether they're bumpy or they're smooth, or you're driving uphill or you're driving. So the car tells you that now is the time when you're driving uphill, you should be driving in this gear.
Okay.
So similarly, when we are embarking upon life, astrology tends to guide us that should you take the opportune time or should you go on a bumpy road.
Yeah, but there is free will. It's something like liberty and freedom. So do people misuse it?
Liberty and freedom. Free will, I see normally people with purity of intent are not going to misuse it.
Okay.
People who have ulterior motives, I would still not use the word misuse it. I would feel that they think that this is the best time to embark upon their projects. Now, whether the projects are right or no, wrong, positive or negative, depends upon their conscience. I would put it this way.
Okay.
Yeah. So, having astrology, having studied astrology, I would again sum it up, Sesh, which you would agree with me since your family has been so embedded in it, that it's always taught us what is the right thing to do. It also devoids us of certain guilty factors in our mind.
Yeah, now I know why people come, asking, Dolly, can you tell me this? Can you tell me that? And there's so many questions after we come to you. But thank you so much. I'm sure our viewers, as well as myself, we've had a lot of clarity of thought.
I have to thank you, Sesh, because these are the questions that time and again have been coming, and I'm sure viewers that if you have any more questions, please let us know, because I do want to clarify all your thoughts and all your doubts that you have against this subject, because I really and truly advocate this subject as a tool for self-awareness and helping you create your own prophecies rather than living predictions. Thank you.